Hello there. A couple people have asked me about pumping, so I figured I'd do a video. Basically, what you want to pump for, it's the same concept as with the biological male. Over a period of time of use, it can help you to have a larger penis because it enables it to be able to hold more blood within those tissues. It's kind of, when you work out, you're stretching out the tissues. It's kind of the same kind of concept. With FTMs, if you look at pictures between guys that pump and guys that don't pump, you'll basically notice that it sticks out more, and that's really helpful for, depending on how much growth you've gotten. You might be able to have penetrative sex vaginally with your partner without surgery if you've gotten enough growth and if it sticks out far enough, and that's something that pumping can help you to achieve. Basically, you start out with a pump. This is a professional pump. Some people can do it with a large syringe, but really this is going to give you a lot more consistent pressure, and you can actually tell with the gauge, you know, what pressure you're putting on yourself. If you use too much pressure, you can severely injure yourself. It'll hurt. Obviously, if it starts to hurt, you need to stop. But it can, you know, make it swell up and get all purple and make the blood basically get stuck in there. So something kind of akin to priapism, if you've ever heard of priapism in biological males. Same kind of thing can happen, and it's not pretty. You have to go to the doctor, and if you don't go to the doctor, you risk basically having it get all clotted in there and die, kind of like a gangrene type thing where you'd have to get it amputated, and who wants that? Nobody wants that. So yeah, don't do that. But what you start with is a pump, and you know, you're not going to start off with a biologically male-sized cylinder because that's not the anatomy we have, unfortunately, so it's not going to work. You have to get a clitoral pump cylinder, and this is the starter one. It's kind of, you can see that it's not super huge, but you're obviously not going to fill up this whole thing. When you first start, you'll be lucky if it gets in like that far. But you can start that prior to even starting T. You'll have the best results if you're on T, and you'll notice pretty, you know, rapidly that it does help. After I probably outgrew this first cylinder after the first year. Afterwards, I moved up to this cylinder, and after 10 or 15 minutes of this cylinder, I can now use this cylinder to make it even bigger. So now I use this cylinder for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I move up to this one for 10 or 15 minutes. Basically, when you first start, you're going to use the small one for 5 or 10 minutes at a time to get yourself used to the process and get your tissues used to the process. Then you move up to, you know, a little bit longer and a little bit more pressure at a time. It's a very, very gradual process, and you cannot rush it, or, like I said, you will hurt yourself in places you don't want to hurt yourself. So you have to be very patient, and then once you get to the point where you can do this one for a half an hour and it starts to get uncomfortable, you feel like you might need to move up to the next size, you'll move up to the next size, and you'll be able to do that for 20 minutes to half an hour at a time, maybe a little bit longer. You really don't want to go more than 45 minutes, tops. After that, you really need to stop. And, you know, this thing, you don't have to leave this all attached all the time. If you notice, they snap on. You set it up to whatever pressure you need it to be at, and then this just comes off, and you leave this on inside your pants or whatever, and you can, you know, sit and watch TV or walk around, putz around the house. Obviously, you can't, you know, exercise or do any kind of very vigorous activity, or it'll become dislodged. But you don't have to be stuck there holding the damn pump the whole time. You can, you know, mosey about the house and do your daily chores or whatever for 20 minutes or whatever before you take it off again. As far as sex goes, generally you want to, you know, put it on while you're having your foreplay. That gives you, you know, 15 or 20 minutes to have the thing on and just let it, you know, fill the tube. And then if you've not had enough growth to have sex, it's still going to be a lot bigger, and it makes oral sex a whole lot more enjoyable. You can hopefully be able to penetrate your partner, and that'll last for about 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes before everything goes back down again. And then you'll have to either repump or, you know, do it at another time. But I hope that answered some questions anyway. And if you have more, let me know. But that's pumping. So good luck, and I hope you have good results. So that's it. Bye.